Real Madrid just beaten Espanyol by 2-1. Mourinho is back. 3 goals in the bag. Carlos Espí 90-minute winner. If Real Madrid is going to get this title back from Barcelona, there is a lot to this performance that needs to be improved. So, before we destroy the performance today, let's actually understand the context. This is a new season. Mourinho is back. Bunch of new players. And this is actually the first competitive game of the season in terms of La Liga. They barely even have any preseason, to be fair with you. Real Madrid had 4 preseason games. I mean, let's put it official games. Compared to Espanyol, that had 6 preseason games. And also, Espanyol also had already played 1 league game already. And obviously, Real Madrid hasn't even played at all. So this is their first game. And some of Real Madrid players just came back literally to join them training 10 days ago. If you put all of that into context, in theory, I'm not trying to defend Mourinho here, but Mourinho barely had about 60% of his first-team players during the preseason. The game ended 2-1 to Real Madrid. Real Madrid got the first goal from Jude Bellingham. Espanyol is a very good side, and they kept probing, and they got their equalizing in the 30th minute. And even before the halftime, I think they could have been 2-1 up, but Roberto from Espanyol side fluffed his chance. I think it was a clean header. It was open goal, really. Honestly, I didn't know how he missed it. But him missing that gave Real Madrid an opportunity to get ahead in the game. In the second half, Real Madrid kept what was a threat constantly with Mbappe and Vinícius. But you can really tell, if you watch the game, you can tell that both players were not fit. They were doing it, but again, they were not playing like a team. Even before the game, I just said to myself, I think Real Madrid just need to get a 3 point. It doesn't matter how they play. They just need to get 3 points. Because it's very, very important. Because I think this Real Madrid team is going to take them 3 to 4 games, La Liga games, to be able to get up to speed. Myself, I played football, so I do understand it takes long time to get fit. To be honest with you, the best player on that pitch was Arda Güler and Bellingham, to be fair with you. Arda, you can see that Arda is very fit. It was a 2-sided game. Espanyol kept probing. They had good chances as well in the second half. Mourinho just decided to say, you know what, I had enough of this, and I just needed to change the shape a little bit. And I felt when Arda came off, it could have been Silva that come off, but I could tell that Silva needed more game time to get to full gear. So when I saw Arda Güler coming off, I did understand. At that point, I understood it, because in 4 days' time you're gonna go again, and in theory, your best player at this moment is Arda Güler. So he's the fittest guy in the group. So the last thing you want is an injury to him or anything like that. I mean, in the beginning of the season, and also you also want the other set of players to get up to speed. So him taking Arda Güler off, I understood it. So some people might be saying, nah, you could have not taken him off, you could have left him. But for me, you got a game in 4 days, and after that, you got another 4 days. So I mean, you got quick games coming up. So I felt, yes, taking Arda Güler, and I think with that move, Arda Güler will have to start the next game as well. So maybe he was going to start, and maybe Silva probably wouldn't, or maybe Silva might start. It might be the same shape, I don't know. But I know Arda Güler for sure will start the next game, because he took him out to rest him for that next game, and it gave Silva a bit of freedom as well, and a bit of responsibility to probe more of to find the passes and the rest. Yan Diamande that came off gave them weight. My personal opinion is he's young and obviously got a lot to learn. He's a top player, no doubt about that. I felt for him to be able to excel well, it has to be maybe one player, 1v1, or a game with space. You need literally Espanyol could have pressed. Maybe sometimes, I mean, I'm not a coach, but tactically, sometimes I'll just let Espanyol teams like that to press me a little bit. Carlos Espí came on. At that point, I knew there will be a goal, because again, he was sharp. I watched him through the preseason. To be fair with you, I would say there is maybe 5 Real Madrid players in general that are literally match fit. I mean, they are match fit. Why I mean match fit? I mean playing in their full potential. The rest are just literally getting on. I think the first 3 games, or at least the first 4 games of this La Liga season, in theory, is a preseason for these players. But Mourinho have to just figure out a way to make sure they get 3 points, get a maximum point as they can from those games. And after that, then they should be able to get into full swings and just get going. Yeah, so in the 90th minute, Mbappe went for this run, and it wasn't great, sleek kind of goal, but it doesn't really matter. You just need 3 points. You need to go back on the head, and Carlos Espí just, with that, striker instinct, pounced on it and got the goal. For me, that was over at that point, and Real Madrid won the game there. Espanyol, like I said, deserve full credit. They are a very good team. They play with their heart. I think their fans is going to be proud of them, although it's a kind of a last-minute goal, which is painful for any team, to be fair with you. Espanyol deserve something from this game. I felt Real Madrid wanted it a bit more. Real Madrid had the quality from the bench, and that was the difference. Now, let's talk about Vini. Personally, I don't have anything against Vini. Vini is a good player. Me looking at him just from the outside, maybe he's a good character, maybe he's a fantastic person personally, maybe he is. I don't know him that much. But on the football pitch, honestly, I think Vini, let's be honest, if you're foul, you should go down. I just think Vini go down too often enough to give the opponent something to target him on. I'm not saying to him not to, let's be honest, when we see a foul, we'll see a foul. When we see a soft one, we'll see a soft one. And I think when Vini does something like that, it kind of goes into the referee mind that it's just him. He does it all the time. And obviously, when there's a situation whereby he's actually fouled in the penalty box, and they wouldn't give it. I felt the push from the back on the penalty. He went down so easily, but that could have been a foul any other day. Maybe any other player could have been a foul. But it's because it's Vini. Maybe the ref decided not to even give it, or even then the VAR wouldn't even look at it. So yeah, so for me, I felt Vini, I'm not going to criticize him. Like I said, let's be honest, he's not fit. He's fit to play, but he's not match fit. And obviously, I do understand why Mourinho let him to the very end, because when players are not fit, they need game time to be fit. That's the truth. And I do understand from the point of Vini and also from the point of Silva, they needed to play, right? So even though the game ended in draw, but the most important thing is you got your players match fit, so which is important. So for me, I wouldn't go hard on Vini on this one. I just felt his decision making wasn't that great in the game. So his fitness level, like I said, is not there yet. If you look at the Espanyol and obviously the Real Madrid players, the fitness level was different. So remember, Espanyol, this is their second home game of the season. They won their first game and obviously they lost this one to Real Madrid. So they were a very good team. They are a very good team. So I wouldn't say Espanyol was just a team that you can just roll over, really. So yeah, so for me personally, that's what I thought about Vini. But before the end of the video, I will try to give my player rating on all the players that played today. Mbappe, for Kylian, looking at Kylian as well, I think Kylian let's say maybe the Kylian we know of, the goal puncher and the rest. Let's call him like his unique Kylian 100%, right? So I think Kylian at the moment is about 80%, right? So he's sharp, but again, he needs more game time. So I think these players, they need at least minimum 4 games to be able to get into their normal reading. My personally, so they have to train, game. So that will probably get into reading. Obviously, at that time, they could be able to assess their decision making, see how they can improve themselves. Like I say, Kylian Mbappe was okay today. It wasn't great. It was just okay. I felt there was some passes he could have just made. The gap between the attack and the midfield was so big, so that needs to be closed down a little bit. So I do understand it because, like I said, you got most of your players literally 10 days ago, most of your first team players. So I don't expect to be to perform any magic. As you can tell, the X factor for me today was Mourinho. Because if it was any other coach, they could have gotten a draw in this game based on this player's fitness. For me personally, I saw that already. So when I know Carlos Espí was coming in and he needed to introduce the wingers to get those crosses in, I knew just a matter of time they'll get a goal. Kylian Mbappe is not your natural centre forward, but it's good. Like I said, the squad depth is good because you have these 2 different forms of centre forward, which can cause problem to the other side. Let's talk about Mourinho. This is Mourinho's first game officially in La Liga for over 12 years now. I think he's carried himself very well, my personal opinion. Even the presentation that was done literally this week, I think was good because it took a lot of media away. Take the media presence away more from himself and obviously from the players. So obviously they can focus on getting ready for their first game. So I did understand it. He got back and he just wanted to get the team going, really. So I think I like that about him because I want to get on with the job. I personally think it's going to be a very difficult job for him in terms of managing the egos. To be honest with you, this team doesn't have that much of an ego compared to his first time at Real Madrid. But it's because you're dealing with a different generation. So that's why I'm a bit concerned about this. But I still think Mourinho will get the job done. In terms of Mourinho, I'm going to try to split his job into 5 categories. So I'm going to talk about the organization of the team. The team was pretty organized from what I can see. He played with what he have. Let's be honest, David Silva fitness level is not there. Valverde fitness is not there. Camavinga fitness is not there. So I think then you're limited in the options of would you really play. Jude Bellingham fitness is also not there. The only fit midfielder I think you have is Arda Güler. So in terms of his option, he's limited there. Even though on paper the formation was 4-2-3-1, I knew that David Silva is going to tuck in more into the midfield. So because obviously he wouldn't have the pace yet to go and come back. I didn't understand that in terms of formation wise. So I think personally, based on the team he has, this team only had 4 preseason games. Most of his key players just came back less than 10 days ago. So I can't fault him in terms of the organization. I'm going to move into the physicality physicality of the team. I think the team was physical. Personal opinion, I could see that happening. Konate was very good at the back. He was physical. He won most of all his duels. He won most balls that came to him. He was composed when the ball is on his feet. I felt he was solid. I could still see he's not that fit enough. So again, Konate, out of 100% him being fit, let's say 100% of Konate we know. I think the Espanyol game is probably at 80%, I would say. He's still getting up, but he's still not there. And obviously at the World Cup, he didn't have that much of a minute. I didn't expect that much from him. Dumfries was also physical as well. So, these were players that naturally are physical. So in terms of physicality, I see that Arda Güler as well was another player that I felt was physical. Bellingham was another one. But although he was physical, but at the same time, the fitness level wasn't there. David Silva, I didn't see that much from him in terms of physicality. I can see that he's trying to get to top gear. Mentality-wise, I thought they all have good mentality because I didn't see anything disruptive in terms of the team spirit. Mentality-wise, I think the team has it. And I think they're there, but it's just, their body needs to get up to speed with things. Mourinho as well, you could see when that second goal went in, he immediately started organizing the shape. And I think Carlos Espí dropped into the midfield to finish up the last 4 minutes of the game or 5 minutes of the game. So which was good because, the players knew that the job was done. So now it's time to close up shop. Get that 3 points. Think about the next game, really. The next point I will emphasize on Mourinho will be the game management. I think he got that spot on. He made those changes at the right time. He brought the right players. Although, like I said, some of the players were not physically, being physicality in terms of fitness are not there. People like Vinícius, people like Kylian Mbappé, they're not still there. They're not playing at their top gear yet. I felt Mourinho managed the game very, very well because he understood the strength of the team. He understood where they are at the moment. Let's be honest, this is his first game of the La Liga season. If you're looking at both teams in terms of game management compared to Espanyol, although Mourinho is a top coach, Espanyol, like I said, had 6 preseason games. Compared to Mourinho team, they only had 4. Espanyol had almost 90% of their players all throughout their preseason games. They had plenty of time to train. They started the league early before the Mourinho team. I wouldn't, like I said, today's video is not about criticizing the Madrid players or how bad they are. No, I just felt they needed to grind today to get a victory. And I think they did it. They just did the job. So has anything worked yet in terms of what Mourinho is trying to do, or has anything hasn't worked yet? Looking at that, I think what have worked was team spirit, team cohesion is there. And Camavinga coming in, I just felt he could have been one of the players that fitness-wise could have been there. Maybe, I don't know what he was doing through the preseason. I don't want to be harsh on this guy. I don't know him personally. I don't know what he's been doing. But I personally felt, looking from the outside, as soon as you hear Mourinho was coming in, I felt he's going to be the one that is getting moved on. So if I was in his position as a player, knowing that on paper-wise, I'm going to be the one getting moved on, I'm going to be in my best shape coming into preseason. Because this is a new manager that is trying to understand all the players. This is a new manager that's trying to figure out who is going to be in his team and who is not. And the best thing to do to a new manager is to basically be better, be the best version as you can be. So him coming in knowing, obviously paper-wise, he can say, okay, look, he can drop this guy. But him coming to see you in person, train, and in games, you probably give him no choice than to keep you. But I just felt Camavinga, based on that game, I don't think it's going to convince Mourinho. What has worked and what hasn't worked based on what Mourinho is trying to do. And looking at it from the outside, I could say, watching that game, what has worked has been the team cohesion is there. I could see the mentality is there. They got the 3 points, which is important, which is what Mourinho is all about. Win, 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 which is there. So for me, that's a big positive. And again, there is no major headline so far. So yes, the team are just coming back. Most of the players just came back less than 10 days ago. But I felt the basic principle of what the manager is trying to do is there. So also when the goal went in, I could literally see Mourinho already issuing Valverde some instructions. And immediately I also saw Carlos Espí drop into the midfield. So, and obviously Vini tucked in more into the left-hand side of the midfield. So, you could tell that there was an instruction there that's saying, look, we got the point, we got the job done. No need trying to go get the fancy third goal. Close up shop. We got a game in 4 days. So I think that has worked well. the team cohesion, the team spirit, I think this Mourinho team will work well. What hasn't worked yet? What I would love to see, again, this will be like going into the fourth game, because you need the players to be fit to begin with. So first, I need to see more of this defensive discipline, more of clean sheet, more of players working together for each other, more of team spirit. You just need that discipline of going into games and saying to yourself, we cannot lose. We're a top team. So you have to literally go into games thinking like that. And when you get to that point, then you have to go to the point of game saying you have to win. I mean, I'm not going to say to a Mourinho team now, you have to win. Let's be fair. I mean, it's unfair to Mourinho team, because I personally think over the years, every team he's managed, the expectation from the fan base and the media is Mourinho have to win. He has to win. But if it's other managers, I'm not trying to compare here, but if it's other managers, they will say, oh, let's give him 2-3 years. But if it's Mourinho, he has to win. It's just like the media is going about. He has to win the La Liga. He has to win the Champions League. Come on, this is this guy first season in charge. These players, you just need to work with them. He barely know any of these players. But I mean, you can see how media treats him compared to other managers. So I can't blame Mourinho. Even with him, he's taking it to his shin, saying, you know what, I have to win. So which is fair play to him. So for me, those are the little things that I felt that hasn't worked yet. But I just think for it to work, we just need to see these the players need to get fit to be able to see more discipline from them, in terms of tactical discipline from them, in terms of defending as a unit, also attacking as a unit. And again, those midfielders sprinting into action. So, those are the things I would love to see. Let's talk about Arda Güler. Arda Güler, personally, I feel he was the best player on the pitch today. Maybe part of the reason was because he was the fittest player in the Madrid squad today. Mourinho taking him off was a positive, because you're trying to protect one of your best players, because you have a game in 3 to 4 days. So it's better you give him that fresh rest till he plays. And obviously the rest of the other players can also get to fitness. People like Silva. So giving Phil Silva a full 90 minutes was a good thing. But obviously he can play. He can play to get fit. And Vini also playing for 90 minutes also is good. So he can play to get fit. I mean, some of the good things about letting players play for 90 minutes, even though they're not performing well, especially their top players, is as a manager, you probably would, during the week, get those clips of 90 minutes and show to those players and say, look, you play for 90 minutes. This was your impact. This was da. This was, you didn't do this well. You didn't do that well. So you have a lot of data on these players. So what they could do within themselves, basically, psychologically, you're challenging them. But if they have to play for like 40 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, they will probably say, oh no, it's because they had only 20 minutes or 40 minutes of game time. But because they had this full 90 minutes, you would have to plan. I mean, the manager will probably psychologically say to them, look, you played 90 minutes, and maybe how many crossings do you do as a winger? How many players did you take on? How many times do you created danger in the opponent's half? How many times you lost the ball? How many times you passed the ball? Those yada yada yada. Then from there, you probably as a top player, you'll be thinking, because I played football, I did understand it, and I did had managers that come to me and say, look, your game was not great today. And obviously, we analyze it, and in my head, I'll be saying to myself, okay, how many times did I lose the ball from last game? So let's say, for example, if I lost the ball 10 times last game, next game, I can't lose it 10 times. So, I mean, that's how I keep that count. Then I'll say to myself, maximum I can lose is 5. 5 is only what's allowed, because I have to improve from my data from last game. So I mean, I get the sense of why he took out Arda Güler at that time. And I think Arda Güler would probably start the Wednesday game. I personally think so. He was the best performer in the game, and arguably, I could easily say he's the man of the match. The 3 positives I'm going to take away from this game is going to be definitely Jude Bellingham. He's going to be number one. You can clearly see that he's playing playing with the heart. It's clearly the Jude Bellingham of the World Cup, which has taken him to a different class. And if you keep playing like this, I think I don't see a reason why he cannot win Ballon d'Or, my personal opinion. And it's not even just personal accolade. I think he could push this team to winning everything, I'm telling you. But if other players are to look at what Jude has been doing, and if they can do if they can play with the heart, at least 90% of that, I think this team is going to be untouchable. So Jude Bellingham is number one. And like I said, he played with the heart. He had a very good game. I'm pleased that he put in the shift And the second positive I'm going to have in this game will have to be Arda Güler. Arda Güler was fantastic. I mean, I could tell that in terms of fitness wise, he's the most fittest Madrid player in that game. He's a good midfielder. I think he can play beside any defensive midfielder. He can play. I think we can easily call Arda Güler the CMF of the team. So I think he was good. And even Mourinho taking him off, I think he was just a tactical because he's thinking about the next game. So I do understand it. So I wasn't upset when he took Arda Güler off. I was just thinking that you need your best player on Wednesday, and obviously you need a player fresh as well. So you would probably let Silva finish this game, and on Wednesday game bring Silva on as a substitute, but Arda Güler starting. So I do understand what Mourinho was trying to do there. But again, I'm not predicting anything. But let's see what happens on Wednesday. And the third positive I will talk about this game will be squad depth. The squad depth was amazing. The squad depth was what get them this victory. Big teams just need to understand that you need squad depth. I mean, not just everything you need squad depth, because there's a difference between having 2 points today and having 1 point. The 2 point that they gained extra was because of that squad depth and having a manager like Mourinho. So, I mean, that was what I saw as a difference. And I felt that was a big positive. From the team, because now you can bring in players, you can go short, you can go long. Your opponent doesn't really know what you're trying to do, so you can bring in Carlos Espí, have your wingers up, have Yad Diomande on the right, have Vinny up. So meaning you can go up, and obviously you can have Mbappe dropping in to sweep off any gaps, and you can have Carlos Espí staying up top. So I mean, it becomes difficult for any opponent. But the problem is, if you play like that, it creates weakness in the midfield. But your midfielders have to be like extra fit. Extra has to be on the top of their game to be able to cover that gaps. Because at that point, you have 2 strikers and you have 2 wingers, and now your midfielders have a problem. So that means it's either you're going to sacrifice one of your defenders to play a bit up in the midfield, which I think he did with Trent. Because when Trent came in, I could see Trent wasn't going that wide. Trent was going from right back to the midfield, right back to the midfield, which was a good thing. I mean, I could see tactically what Mourinho was trying to do. So for me, that squad depth was a big positive. Let's talk about the player ratings. Let's start with the goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois. I think he didn't have that much to do in the game, although he had 2 saves. I think it was straight saves. So he didn't have that much to do in the game. Yeah, I would say also I need Courtois to be more commanding at the back. Sometimes Courtois has to be the second coach or the second manager, because in the first half there was a ball going across that obviously the Espanyol could have easily scored. I felt as a goalkeeper, sometimes the players, because you're seeing the ball, you're seeing the players, and the players back you, so they won't be able to see. And obviously, because you're a goalkeeper, you have a better vision to see other players that are unmarked. So this is where you have to have the tactical managerial awareness to say, don't freeze or something, there's a guy on your right hand back, I mean, there's someone on the right, there's someone is free or something like that, or who is marking him. So at that point, you could have made those sort of decisions, but I just felt, because I mean, maybe the camera didn't pick it, but based on what I was watching, I just felt he was quiet, and because of that, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Next player on my list is Dumfries. Dumfries had a very good game. He was very good with the ball. He was defensively very good. He was physical. He won all his duels, and he was defensively sound. Honestly, it was a good performance. Although he's still fitness-wise, I can still tell that's not the top Dumfries. But based on this performance, honestly, I can't see how Trent starts over this guy. This guy is good. So, and because of that, I will give him an 8. Alvaro Calares. He was very good at the back today. He had a good game. He caused a lot of overloads on the left wing back. He actually stepped his game. He's one of the best game I've seen him played under the Madrid color. Maybe because, I don't know, maybe because you have someone waiting, Mbappé Vinícius Jr, waiting in the bench to take a position. But he had a very good game today. He was very solid at the back. And I could tell towards the end he was getting tired. And I wasn't surprised he was subbed by Guler. And obviously, Mac needed to also get back, needed to get fit as well. Remember, he just came back from the World Cup as well. So Calares, I'll give him an 8. Dean Howson was was good today. He complemented Konate very well. Dean Hansen is a very tall and easily could be a very powerful centre back. I felt he still sometimes he hides. He's a bit too soft, but he complemented Konate very well. He partnered Konate very well. They were defensive sound together. To be honest, I don't have that much to talk about Dean Hansen. I think he played his part very well, and with his performance, I'll give him a 7. Konate was extremely very good. Easily could have been our man of the match as well. He was very good. He was very commanding at the back. He was strong. He was physical. He won all his duel. One-on-one, you couldn't even beat him. He was very commanding. He was solid and very physical. Honestly, I love what I saw in Konate. And because of that, I'm going to give him a 9. David Silva. David Silva had an okay game. It wasn't a good game for David Silva. I felt his lack of fitness showed a lot on the game. I couldn't blame him because he was just trying to get fit to get going again. I think Mourinho was right saying that he's the kind of guy that during the holidays he gets switched off. So I can't blame him. It's his holiday, right? He can do whatever he wants. So his performance wasn't that so good. So I will rate him a 6. Valverde also had an okay game. It was another similar kind of game with Silva. He was the captain of the team. He showed some spirit sometimes, but I just felt he wasn't noticeable. He wasn't imposing. He had some couple of good sliding tackles here and there. But that being said, I'll give Valverde 6.5. Arda Güler was the best player on the pitch, my personal opinion. Was my man of the match. He was dominating. He showed his maturity. He showed spirit. He was fit. He was aware of what was going on. Arguably the best player on the pitch. And with that performance, I'll give him a 9. Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham had a very good game. He showed spirit. He showed heart. Again, one of the best players on the pitch. He wasn't that fit, and I could tell because he was a bit tired towards the end. He was Jude Bellingham of the World Cup. We can see he's playing from the heart. And with that performance, we'll give him an 8.5. Kylian Mbappé. Kylian Mbappé had an okay game. It wasn't the Kylian we know. His presence was shown a little bit. We had flashes of him here and there, but I understand that he's still getting fit. He's not there yet. So with that performance, I'll give him a 7. Vini had, would I say, between fair and okay game. That's Vini's game, fair and okay. Obviously, I could tell that his fitness is not there yet, and I do understand it. He really need to step up with his fitness. He just looked like someone that just came back from preseason. Someone that just came back like 2 days ago. He was at times, his decision making on the game wasn't that great. So with that performance, I will give Vini a 5. With all the substitutions that came in, the substitution that happened, the rating for Carlos Espí definitely have to be an 8. The rating I would give Yad Diomande will have to be 6.5. And the rating I'm going to give Marc Correa will have to be a 7. And the rating I'm going to give Trent Arnold will have to be a 6. Arda Güler, where do you think is his favorite position? Is he a right winger, central midfielder, or defensive midfielder? Kindly comment below. Let me know where you think is his best preferred position. Or if you're the manager, where would you play him? Thank you guys for watching. And could you please do me a huge favor? Could you please like this video and subscribe to this channel? Doing so is the only way we grow here on YouTube. We are new in the YouTube space and we really do need your help. See you on the next one.